I asked the Sultan Musa, says Ibn Amir Hajib, how was it that power came into his hands? We are, he told me, from a house that transmits power by heritage. The ruler who came before me would not believe that it was impossible to discover the limits of the neighboring sea. He wanted to find out and persisted in his plan. He had 200 ships equipped and filled with men, and others in the same number filled with gold, water, and supplies in sufficient quantity to last for years. He told those who commanded them, return only when you have reached the extremity, the end of the ocean, or when you have exhausted your food and water. They went away. Their absence was long before any of them returned. Finally, one ship reappeared. We asked the captain about their adventures. Prince, he said, we sailed a long time up to the moment when we encountered in mid-ocean something like a river with a violent current. My ship was last. The others sailed on, and gradually as each one entered this place, they disappeared and did not come back. We did not know what had happened to them. As for me, I returned to where I was, and I did not enter the current. Today, it is common knowledge that off the coast of West Africa and off the coast of like Spain, more like in the south, are two currents that if ships got in those currents would take them right to the Caribbean and right to like off the coast of South America, Brazil, right? Heyerdahl, Thor Heyerdahl, a Scandinavian, in 1969 had Africans on North Africans make him a boat of papyrus, which is what was used back during that time. They made him a boat. He got in the boat, got in the current, and he ended up in the Caribbean, right? Proving that it could have been done. This is the same boat that I had made by the same people, their heritage, you know, they made those boats. This is 1969. He got in the current, and he ended up in the Caribbean. So those currents are still there today. They're still there today. Then Mansa Musa continues. He says, but the emperor did not want to believe him. He equipped 2,000 ships, 1,000 for himself and the men who accompanied him, and 1,000 for water and supplies. He conferred power on me and left with his companions on the ocean. This was the last time I saw him and the others, and I remain the absolute master of the empire. Now, brothers and sisters, they have found inscriptions in Brazil, in Peru, in the United States of where these Muslims ended up. Inshallah, next week we'll get into the slave revolts. The slave revolts that took place in Brazil, Haiti, and so on and so forth that were actually led by Muslims. But they found inscriptions and artifacts of these Muslims, right? Now, here's what they're looking at. Language. That some of the indigenous people had words in their language that were Arabic words. There were also words rooted in the West African languages, other than Arabic. Archaeological findings, like we said, inscriptions and so on and so forth, right? Brazil, Peru, right? Evidence on up through Latin America, and evidence in the United States of America, especially in the vicinity of the Mississippi Valley. The fourth graders in our school have a social studies book. We make our own social studies books. And on the cover of this fourth grade book, I forgot to bring, there it is. On the cover of this book, Brother Ismail, could you get the book if the sister don't start crying? Is a picture of the Mississippi Valley. The Mississippi Valley. This picture shows, brothers and sisters, remember the Mississippi River to the United States is what the Nile is to Africa. In this picture, this is an artist's rendition of a temple mound town of the Mississippi Valley by Lloyd Townsend. There's a mound. It's a mound. It's a mound that is like almost like pyramid in shape. Okay, pyramid in shape up the Mississippi Valley. There is also other evidence that these Africans, West Africa, that moved up the Mississippi Valley, right, and intermarried with the indigenous people who are here. As we will see in a minute, inshallah, one of them even said, they named the descendants of these people, the descendants of these Africans who came from Africans who came from West Africa. We'll get to that in a minute, inshallah. But on some of these caves, one in Arizona, they found writings in caves in Arizona, right, in which said, the desert is hot, the birds are numerous. Another inscription said, the elephants are sick and angry. Ain't no elephants in the United States, y'all. There's no elephants in the United States. No elephants whatsoever in the United States. The elephants are sick and angry. The desert is hot, the birds are numerous in caves in Arizona. All right? Also, too, I want to read a couple of other statements, because now we're going further up now. Now check out the statements that were put down of early European explorers. Because now they're going to get into some of their influences, inshallah. This comes from Africa and the Discovery of America. This was written in 1920. Africa and the Discovery of America. Leo Weiner. Bless his heart. Here's what he said about the Algonquin people.